Welcome back. Today, I'm going to be going over this unit conversion question that comes up on the second module of the SAT. And before I get started with the explanation, please try this for yourself. Okay, once again, right, thanks to Aniko.ai for providing this question, but let's start. So here we have an architect's plan that uses the scale that 1 centimeters equals 0.5 meters. A photocopy of the plan enlarges all lengths by a factor of 1.5. Okay. And then on the photocopy, a rectangular room measures 10.8 by 6.75 centimeters. Which of these choices is closest to the area of the actual room in square feet? So right away with these unit conversion problems, right, there's a lot of units given, right? A lot of different units because we have meters, feet, um, centimeters, we have a scale factor, right? So your best bet for this problem is to work backwards from what you're given. So you're given that the room measures 10.8 centimeters by 6.75 centimeters. So that's your starting point, right? Because that's the information that you know, right? That's the dimensions that you currently know. Now, it says that's the photocopy. And we know that a photocopy, right, of the original plan enlarges all lengths by 1.5. So that means that if you have the actual plan itself, right, and then you have the photocopy, well, once again, right, the photocopy is 10.8 by 6.75, right? And we know that the photocopy enlarges by a factor of 1.5, right? So it makes it bigger by 1.5 of the dimensions in the original plane. So that means you multiply 1.5 to the original dimensions, right, to get larger dimensions for the photocopy. So if we want to find out the dimensions for the plane itself, well then if you want to work backwards, you have to divide by 1.5. So with that logic, right, you can do each of these divided by 1.5. And then you get those two values, so you get 7.2 times 4.5. So those are the dimensions of the original plane. Now that we have the original architect's plane, right, we know that they use a scale of 1 centimeter equals 0.5 meters. So now how do we convert these into that? Well, this is 7.2 centimeters, this is 4.5, right? Still, we're using centimeters right now. Now, to convert to meters, well, let's use this conversion, right? Unit conversion. If 1 centimeters, if 1 centimeter equals 0.5, then 7.2 centimeters, right? Well, because this is proportional, right? You multiply by 7.2 here, so you also have to multiply by 7.2 here. So once you do that, you get 3.6. Likewise, that 4.5 centimeters, right? You multiply by 4.5 here, you also multiply by 4.5 here, so you get 2.25. Oh yeah, and this is actually meters, right? Because we're converting to meters. All right, so now what we have is the area or the dimensions of the room in meters, right? We have 3.6 by 2.25. So now given that, right, how do we find the area of the actual room in square feet? Well, you can think about this in two ways, right? I'm going to first show you the first method. So if you're given 3.6 by 2.25, right? These are meters, and you're trying to convert this into square feet. Well, the first thing you can do is convert each of these to feet, right? So how would you do that? Well, we're given this unit conversion in the hint that 1 meter equals 3.28 feet, right? So that means, right, 1 meter, that's equal to 3.28 feet. Then 3.6 meters, right? It's again similar logic. You just multiply by 3.6, get 11.808 feet. And this 2.25 meters, right? You multiply by 2.25, you get 7.38 feet. So this becomes 7.38, right? So now that's the dimensions of the room in feet, right? They're asking us to find the area, right, in square feet. Well, if you multiply these two, right, the units are going to be square feet, right? Because you have feet times feet, right, which gives you feet squared. And if you multiply these two numbers here, I'll just do that here on decimals, right? We get around 87, right? I'm rounding to the nearest whole number because all these answer choices, well, most of them, right, are whole numbers, right? And it says closest to the area, right? So we got around 87, which matches answer choice C. The other way you could do this, right, is start from this given. So you're given 3.6 times 2.25. That gives you 8.1, right? And the unit here, right, because you're doing meters times meters, is meter squared. 8.1 meters squared. And what you can do is use factor labeling to actually get your answer in square feet right away, right? So if you know that 1 meter equals 3.28 feet, right? 1 meter, right, is 3.28 feet. You can use this ratio here, right? If you multiply these two, right, you would realize one thing, right? That the meter here and the meter squared here, right, they cancel out, right? And essentially, this becomes just 1, and this becomes just a meter, right? If we know our end goal is to get feet squared, then essentially what you have to do is multiply by this unit conversion again, right? This ratio. Because now you can cross this second meter here with that additional one, right? And now you're left with feet times feet for your unit, which gives you feet squared. And if you multiply these numbers together, you get 87. Once again, that decimal, when we round it, you also get the same answer. So that's two ways you can do it. You can convert each dimension into feet first, or you can right away convert the area in meters squared to feet squared, um, making sure that you multiply by this unit conversion 2 times, right? So that those units cancel out. So just as a recap, right, the best way to do these problems is to start from what you're given, right, the dimensions that you're given, and work backwards um, based on what you know, right? And I can guarantee you every single time you do that, you will get your right answer, right? As long as you follow the steps backwards properly, right? The right order. For example, you don't want to right away convert these dimensions of the photocopy to meters, right? Because you have to first account for that enlargement factor of 1.5. So once again, is working backwards in the proper order, right, will 100% give you the answer that you need. I hope you enjoyed this specific video. Of course, I would appreciate it if you would hit the like and subscribe. And we post videos daily to help you with SAT and ACT prep. So if you want to be notified, right, click on that bell so you are. But any additional questions you have, leave it down and I'll see you next time.